Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like time has taken something from you? The reflection staring back doesn't quite match the one you remember. Life moves quickly, friendships evolve, and the body you once relied on now feels different. Growing older is a path filled with change, and let's be honest, it can sometimes feel like an uphill climb. But what if the struggle isn't really against aging itself? The real challenge lies in our resistance to it. The Stoics taught that suffering comes not from external events, but from our judgments about them. Seneca reminds us that time is not ours to possess, only to use wisely. Marcus Aurelius urges us to accept nature's course with dignity, understanding that everything follows its appointed cycle. We resist aging because we see it as a loss. But what if it's simply a transition? What if it's an opportunity to cultivate wisdom, strength, and gratitude for the time we have? Today, I'll share 5 profound Stoic insights on aging that will completely transform the way you see it. These truths are not bleak. They are empowering, freeing, and even beautiful. Once you accept them, aging will no longer feel like a decline. It will become a path to resilience, purpose, and inner peace. So stay with me, because what you'll discover today might just change how you experience the rest of your life. 1. You will be forgotten faster than you think. And that's okay. One of the most difficult truths to accept is this: you will be forgotten sooner than you expect. The work you dedicated yourself to, the home you loved, the stories you shared throughout your life, one day they will fade from memory. At first, this thought can feel unsettling. We spend our years trying to make an impact, believing our efforts will leave a lasting trace. But time continues, with or without us. Our children become occupied with their own responsibilities, our friends follow their own paths, and eventually the world shifts its focus elsewhere. Yet, Stoicism offers a powerful way to look at this reality. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and philosopher, often reflected on the impermanence of life. He reminded himself that even the most celebrated names of history would one day be forgotten. Seneca taught that our time is not truly ours. It is borrowed, and the wise person does not fear its return. Instead of clinging to the need for remembrance, the Stoics urge us to focus on living virtuously in the present. Our purpose is not to seek immortality through legacy, but to cultivate wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in the life we have now. A well-known Stoic anecdote illustrates this idea. When a man lamented his inevitable obscurity, Epictetus responded, "Why do you care what people will think of you when you are gone? You will not be there to hear their praise or their silence." He emphasized that what matters is not how long we are remembered, but how we live today. Our actions, guided by reason and virtue, create an impact, not in monuments or history books, but in the way we carry ourselves, the integrity we uphold, and the good we do for others. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The influence of a just and virtuous person does not depend on recognition. It is woven into the fabric of the world through the lives they touch. Do you remember the name of every mentor who shaped your character? Probably not, but their guidance lives on in you. The kindness of a stranger, the wisdom of a teacher, the quiet strength of a friend. These are the ripples that endure, whether or not their source is remembered. So release the need to be remembered. Instead, focus on being fully present now. Act with virtue, embrace each moment, and let your deeds speak for themselves. That is how you create a lasting impact. Aging is not about trying to carve your name into history. It is about filling each moment with meaning, so that when your time comes, you can leave with peace, knowing that you lived with wisdom, honor, and purpose. 2. Your body will betray you, so befriend it instead. There was a time when climbing the stairs felt effortless. Now, even a short walk makes your knees ache. The body that once moved so easily now hesitates, reminding you with each twinge that it is no longer the same. This change can feel unfair, but the Stoics would remind us that nothing in life is truly ours, not even our bodies. As Seneca wrote, "We do not own life, we merely borrow it." Just as the seasons change and the strongest trees eventually wither, our bodies must also follow nature's course. The real challenge is not aging itself, it is our resistance to it. We mourn what was, rather than embracing what is. And in that resistance, we create unnecessary suffering. But what if we viewed aging not as a loss, but as a transition? Marcus Aurelius, reflecting on the impermanence of all things, urged himself to welcome what is assigned and to love whatever happens. This is not resignation, it is wisdom. Fighting against time is futile, accepting it brings peace. Your body is not your enemy. It has carried you through victories and hardships, through moments of joy and sorrow. Instead of resenting its limitations, honor its service. Treat it with care, nourish it well, and respect its needs. Strength is not just measured in muscle. It is found in endurance, in resilience, and in the ability to adapt. A Stoic anecdote illustrates this lesson well. An aging philosopher, once known for his physical vigor, found himself struggling with simple tasks. Frustrated, he asked, "How can I be of use if I can no longer do what I once did?" A friend replied, "Can you still think? Can you still speak? Can you still guide others with your wisdom?" The philosopher nodded. "Then you have not lost your purpose. You have simply found a new way to fulfill it. Just as an old tree no longer stands tall but still provides shade, your value is not diminished by age. It simply takes a different form. Aging is not about focusing on what is lost, but about recognizing what still remains. Maybe you can no longer run, but you can still walk. Maybe you cannot lift as much, but you can still carry wisdom, patience, and experience. Your hands may not be as steady, but they can still reach out in kindness. Instead of seeing your body as something failing you, see it as something that has faithfully served you for years. It deserves your patience, your care, and your respect. So what can you do? Accept reality instead of fighting it. When your body needs rest, give it rest. When movement becomes difficult, adjust without resentment. When it aches, respond with understanding rather than frustration. Your body is not failing, it is simply evolving. Most importantly, do not let aging stop you from truly living. A weaker body does not mean a weaker spirit. As long as you have breath, you have purpose. Think of the elders who inspire you. It is not their youthful appearance that makes them remarkable, but the wisdom and dignity they carry. They have accepted change, and in doing so, they have freed themselves from suffering. You have the same choice. So treat your body with kindness, thank it for all it has done, and continue forward with grace. You can't keep everyone in your life, and that's natural. As the years pass, you will notice something difficult to accept. People drift apart. Friends who once felt like family become distant. Relatives who used to call often now reach out only once in a while. Some vanish without a clear reason, leaving behind only memories where there was once warmth and laughter. It's natural to wonder, did I do something wrong? Was I not important enough? But Stoicism reminds us that everything in life is impermanent and beyond our control, including relationships. People enter our lives when the time is right, and they leave when their role in our journey is complete. To resist this truth is to invite suffering. To accept it is to find peace. There is a Stoic principle that explains this well. Amor fati, love your fate. A student once asked Epictetus why people leave our lives. He replied with a simple lesson: is it within your power to make them stay? The student shook his head. then why lament what was never yours to command? The Stoics teach that the only thing we truly possess is our own character, our own choices. Everything else, wealth, health, reputation, and even the presence of others is fleeting. To grow attached to what is temporary is to set ourselves up for disappointment. Think about it. Have you ever reconnected with an old friend after years apart and felt as if nothing had changed? That is because the bond was never about ownership or permanence. It was about the moments shared. Time and distance may separate people, but the impact they have on our lives remains. In the same way, those who have left your life did not take away the love, happiness, or lessons they brought. Their presence helped shape the person you are today. The laughter, the wisdom, and the moments you shared do not vanish just because they are no longer beside you. The Stoics remind us that we should not grieve what was never ours to keep. Instead, we should be grateful for what was given while it lasted. And here is something important to remember. Even if someone is no longer in your life, the meaning of your time together does not disappear. It stays with you, woven into your character and your heart. So rather than mourning every relationship that has slipped away, cherish the ones that remain. Give your time and care to the people who bring you happiness and comfort. Appreciate the friend who still reaches out, the neighbor who greets you warmly, the child who listens to your stories. And above all, keep your heart open to new connections. No matter how old you are, life continues to offer moments of friendship and love, if you allow yourself to receive them. Let go with grace, honor the past, appreciate the present, and welcome what is yet to come. That is the path of wisdom. 4. You must accept that you no longer look young. And that's a gift one day. You catch sight of yourself in the mirror and realize you no longer look the way you once did. Your skin is softer, your hair has turned silver, and your hands have grown more delicate. The world around you insists that you should resist these changes, hide the wrinkles, color the gray, hold on to youth no matter what. But what if there was another way to see aging? Stoicism teaches that fighting against what is natural is a battle already lost. The passing of time is beyond your control, but your response to it is entirely within your power. The lines on your face are not flaws, they are marks of resilience. The silver in your hair is not something to hide, it is a testament to all you have endured and learned. What matters is not whether you can hold on to youth, but whether you can meet each stage of life with wisdom and dignity. There is a Stoic lesson from Marcus Aurelius that speaks to this truth. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not a call to despair, but a reminder. Every moment is precious, and to age is a privilege denied to many. Why mourn what time takes when you can appreciate what it leaves behind? Strength, understanding, and depth of character. Think of the elders you admire. Are they remarkable because they look young, or because they carry themselves with wisdom and quiet confidence? Their beauty is not in unlined skin, but in the patience with which they listen, the steadiness of their presence, the grace with which they accept life's inevitable changes. The Stoics would say that true beauty is found in living according to virtue, in being courageous, just, wise, and disciplined, regardless of age. Let go of the idea that beauty fades. It does not disappear, it transforms. With time, beauty shifts from the external to the internal, from what is seen to what is felt. Imagine if every wrinkle told a story, if every gray hair reflected a lesson learned. Imagine if, instead of mourning youth, we honored the wisdom we have gained. No cream or hair dye can create the kind of beauty that comes from self-mastery. The confidence of knowing yourself, the strength of having faced life's challenges, the gentleness that comes from truly understanding others, these are the qualities that time refines, not erases. So the next time you look in the mirror and feel tempted to focus on what has changed, pause. Look beyond the surface. See the life you have lived, the love you have shared, and the wisdom you carry. Wear your years with pride, as if they were a cloak woven from experience and virtue. Because true beauty is not something you lost in the past. It is something that lives within you here and now in this very moment. 5. You will see more people you love die. But love never dies. As the years go by, you will face loss more often. Parents, siblings, friends, even children. One by one, they leave this world, and nothing can truly prepare you for that pain. Grief is not something that disappears. It is something we learn to carry. But Stoicism offers a hard yet comforting truth. Loss is an unavoidable part of life. Everything we love is temporary, and to expect otherwise is to resist the nature of existence. But while we cannot prevent loss, we can choose how we respond to it. There is a lesson from Epictetus that speaks to this reality. Never say about anything, "I have lost it," but instead, "I have returned it." When a loved one passes, it is not that they were taken from us unfairly, but that they were never truly ours to keep. We were given time with them, a gift, not a guarantee. And though they are gone, what they left behind remains with us. The lessons they taught, the memories they created, and the love they shared. Think of the people you have lost. Perhaps it was a parent whose laughter still echoes in your heart, a friend whose advice continues to guide you, or a partner whose love shaped the way you care for others. They may no longer be here, but they are not truly gone. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." The influence of those we love does not vanish when they pass. It continues through us. One of the greatest misunderstandings about grief is the belief that we must move on. But Stoicism teaches something different, not to forget those we love, but to honor them by living well. Have you ever heard a song, smelled a familiar scent, or spoken a certain phrase and felt someone return, if only for a moment? That is their presence woven into your life, a reminder that what truly matters, character, virtue, love, does not die with the body. Grief is painful, yes, but it is also proof of how deeply we have loved. The greater the love, the stronger the sorrow. But instead of wishing the pain away, we can transform it into gratitude. Rather than focusing on what we have lost, we can cherish what we were given. Growing older means facing more loss, but it also means having had the chance to love deeply, to form bonds that matter, and to carry forward the spirit of those who touched our lives. So when you feel grief settling into your heart, remember, love does not end. It moves through you, in your words, in your actions, in the kindness you share with the world. As long as you keep living with purpose and virtue, those who have passed remain a part of you, and in that way they are never truly gone. Embrace aging with grace. Growing older is not a burden, it is a privilege. Every passing year, every fine line, every silver strand in your hair tells a story of the challenges you have faced, the resilience you have built, and the wisdom you have gained. Yet too often, we are taught to see aging as something to fear, as if the passage of time is an enemy rather than an inevitable part of life. But Stoicism offers a different perspective. Aging is not the problem. Our resistance to it is. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When we fight against time, we create unnecessary suffering. When we cling to youth, we overlook the strengths that come with age, wisdom, patience, and the ability to see what truly matters. The more we resist what is natural, the more we fill our hearts with frustration. But the moment we accept reality and align ourselves with nature, we discover something powerful: tranquility. Aging is not about loss, it is about transformation. So, dear friend, how will you choose to see it? Will you fight against time, or will you meet it with courage? Will you dwell in nostalgia, or will you embrace the present with gratitude? The decision is yours. But if you choose acceptance, if you choose to honor the life you have lived rather than mourn the years behind you, you will realize that growing older is not an ending. It is simply the next stage of your journey. Hold on to these lessons. Walk forward not with fear, but with strength. Find meaning in the wisdom you now carry. Share your experiences, laugh without hesitation, act with virtue, and live each day with purpose. If these words spoke to you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Let's support one another on this path of wisdom. And if this message brought you value, consider subscribing to our channel for more reflections on living with resilience, clarity, and purpose. Aging is not the closing of a book. It is simply the turning of a page. And the next chapter, that is yours to shape with wisdom and courage.